2022. Hearing officer, Dr. Skip Gallagher.
Good morning, Dr. Gallagher. Good morning, members of the clerk's office. If we can get started with page 1 of the docket, hearing number 47-19, Handsome Willie's Cafe, LLC, doing business as Handsome Willie's Cafe. The parties have entered into a consent judgment, and I would like to read the provisions of that judgment into the record, but perhaps we can proceed with that reading after the conclusion of the 11:30 hearing, Dr. Gallagher.
All right, or it makes sense to address them as we go along, maybe?
Well, it's several pages, but I'll be more than happy to take.
No, that'll slow things down immeasurably.
Yeah, sure. But before we conclude, I will definitely read that into the record.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on to hearing number 88-19, Cajun Contai LLC, doing business as Oceana Grill. The establishment is being represented by Mr. Attorney Ike Spears, who contacted my office and indicating that he won't be available today. And also, we are trying to work toward a resolution on these cases. If we can continue this matter to the March 15th docket. And Madam Clerk, Attorney Spears has indicated that he will accept service for this particular establishment.
Yes, I have no problem with that.
Okay. Hearing number 96-19, Marcia Matthews, doing business as International Arts Foundation. This establishment was not served to be here today through our detective. If we can place this on the March 15th docket, and a service will be actually effectuated to this particular establishment, please.
That'll be fine.
Hearing number 154-19, Christmas Club Incorporated, doing business as Snake and Jake's Christmas Club. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $1,400, payable within 60 days.
Fine.
Hearing number 157-19, the Tremay Hideaway, doing business as the Tremay Hideaway. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $4,600, payable within 90 days.
And I assume their delinquent fees and sales tax have been updated?
That is correct.
All right, great.
Moving on to hearing number 158-19, Rosax Corporation, doing business as Maple Leaf. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $200, payable within 30 days.
That's fine.
And likewise, we have Rendon Inn, hearing number 160-19, LLC, doing business as Rendon Inn. We have a consent judgment in the amount of $3,800, payable within 30 days. They are up to date. And Madam Clerk, I believe you have the original, your office has the original signed consent judgment.
Yes.
Hearing number 163-19, Bullet Sports Bar, LLC, doing business as Bullet Sports Bar. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $1,400, payable within 60 days.
Mm-hmm. And their delinquent taxes have been taken care of?
Everything has been up to date. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Hearing number 2020, Bullet Sports Bar, doing business as Bullet Sports Bar. We've already entered that into the record. That is a duplicate on the docket for today.
Okay.
Hearing number 30-20, JRWK Enterprises, LLC, doing business as Cootery Restaurant. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $800, payable within 30 days. Hearing number 32-26, Brothers LLC, doing business as France Meat Market. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $1,800, payable within 30 days, and their establishment is up to date on their taxes as well.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like to dismiss hearing number 36-20, Noel Real Estate LLC, doing business as Claire's Poorhouse.
Mm-hmm. And the reason?
They have come into they were in compliance, and that petition was drafted in error.
Oh, okay, very good, thank you.
Hearing number 01-21, Sassafras Creole and Seafood Restaurant LLC, doing business as Sassafras. It's my understanding that this business is permanently closed. If we can continue this matter without date.
Yes, that'll be fine.
Okay. Hearing number 02-21, Venture Incorporated, doing business as Paran's Po' Boys. I'm sorry, consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $2,800 payable within 90 days, and they are up to date.
Hold on a second.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm looking at another computer and trying to read these notes really quickly. And they had an expired occupational license, 21 months, and then a total of 30 months.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And that's been taking.
Yes, sir. They've been up to date.
Okay. Wonderful.
Hearing number 03-21, Backup JIC LLC, doing business as Nick's Supermarket. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $3,200 payable within 30 days, and they are up to date with all of their license permits. I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you.
Hearing number 04-21, PH Henny LLC, doing business as Saba. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $1,800 payable within 30 days. Likewise, hearing number 05-21, Aramark Educational Services LLC, doing business as Aramark at the Cove. We've received a motion for continuance from their attorney from Baton Rouge. Her name is Erin Kinney, and she's requesting a continuance because she's unable to make it today, and the Department of Finance and the parties are coming to a resolution in this matter. If we can continue that hearing to March 15th, and Madam Clerk, the attorney has agreed to accept service on behalf of her clients for this particular establishment.
Okay.
Yes, and in this particular case, I think someone else would have to hear it since I'm an employee at University of New Orleans and this is on our campus. This would probably have to go before another hearing officer.
Yes, sir. I will make a note of that.
Thank you.
However, Dr. Gallagher, if it is resolved,
yes, that's
okay. That's fine.
That would be no problem if you all can resolve it.
Okay, not a problem. Hearing number 07-21, West Harrison Deli and Market LLC, doing business as West Harrison Deli. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $400 payable within 30 days.
That'll be fine.
Same thing with hearing number 08-21, Aramark Educational Services LLC, doing business as Aramark Educational Services LLC for the location at 6400 Press Drive. Ms. Kinney also represents this establishment. If we can place this on the March 15th docket, Madam Clerk, the attorney has also agreed to accept service. And Dr. Gallagher, I will note recusal if we are unable to resolve this matter.
Yes, and then in that case, in the March hearing, we need to make sure we select a different hearing officer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hearing number 09-21, New Orleans Jazz Orchestra Incorporated, doing business as New Orleans Jazz Market. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $7,000 payable within 45 days. And this establishment has been caught up with their permits.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Very good.
Okay. CK's Hot Shop. Hearing number 10-21, doing business as CK's Hot Shop. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $3,200 payable within 90 days, and they are up to date with all of their permits.
Oh, very good.
Hearing number 01-22, Elma D. Bridges, doing business as The Other Place. Ms. Bridges did come and meet with me today. There are some issues that we are trying to work out. I'm confident we can resolve it prior to the March 15th deadline, but in the event that it's not resolved, that we can continue this matter to the March 15th docket with service, Madam Clerk.
Yes, that won't be a problem.
Okay. If we can continue hearing number 02-22, Jingo A. Michael, doing business as Keller Market Food Store, to the March 15th docket with service, please.
Yep, that'll be fine.
Hearing number 03-22, Locks Place LLC, doing business as Al's Bar. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $1,000, payable within 60 days.
Yep.
Hearing number
is up to date.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Hearing number 04-22, Sir Lai LLC, doing business as Forberg Wines. If we can continue this matter to the March 15th docket with service, please.
Yes.
A consent judgment has been entered into for hearing number 05-22, Happy Raptor Distilling LLC, doing business as Happy Raptor Distilling, in the amount of $1,200, payable within 45 days. And the permittee has come up to date with this establishment and his permits.
Great.
Hearing number 06-22, Stanley of New Orleans LLC, doing business as Stanley of New Orleans. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $1,200, payable within 30 days. If we can continue Annunciation Foods Incorporated, doing business as Clancy's Restaurant, hearing number 07-22 to the March 15th docket with service, please.
Yes, that won't be a problem.
A consent judgment has been entered into for hearing number 08-22, Kui Koi Nola LLC, doing business as Kui Koi, in the amount of $2,000, payable within 60 days, and the establishment is up to date on its permits.
Yes, that'll be good.
Hearing number 09-22, Highlight Sports Bar and Grill LLC, doing business as Highlight Sports Bar and Grill. If we can continue that matter to the March 15th docket, the establishment is in contact with our department to resolve this matter. Nevertheless, if we can continue this matter, and we should be able to resolve this prior to the March 15th deadline.
And you said they were in contact with you.
Yeah, they've been in contact with our office. They've been in contact with Mr. McNamara.
Okay, very good.
Hearing number 10-22, 301 St. Charles Cafe LLC, doing business as St. Charles Cafe. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $1,200, payable within 30 days.
Great.
Hearing number 11-22, Discount Beer, Liquor, and Wine Market Incorporated, doing business as Vucare Wines. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $1,200, payable within 30 days.
That's great.
If we can send via certified mail, Madam Clerk, hearing number 12-22, Cajun Spirits Distillery LLC, doing business as Cajun Spirits Distillery, and prepare it for the March 15th docket with service. Let's
see.
They
weren't served for this meeting?
That is correct. We're having some issues with their service. And I just want to make sure that they actually are receiving the certified mailings. Ike Spears represents Thumbs Up Race 6 LLC, doing business as Big Easy Fresh Market. And that's hearing number 13-22. As stated previously, Mr. Spears is unable to be here today. He's been working with our office to resolve these matters. If we can continue this matter to the March 15th docket in the event that we don't come to a resolution.
Yep, that'll be fine.
And again, Madam Clerk, Mr. Spears will accept service for this particular establishment? Hearing number 14-22, Crystal Magnolia Country Club LLC, doing business as Crystal Magnolia. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $2,600, payable within 90 days, and the establishment is up to date with all its permits.
Okay.
Likewise, hearing number 15-22, Bacchanal LLC, doing business as Bacchanal. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $1,200, payable within 30 days, and the establishment is up to date on its permits. We are having some issues with hearing number 1622, Mermaids LLC, doing business as Mermaids. We're having some service issues, Madam Clerk, so if we can send this establishment certified mailing for the March 15th docket, please. Thank you. Hearing number 17-22, Central City Grocery Number 3 Incorporated, doing business as Central City Grocery. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $1,200, payable within 30 days. I spoke to attorney Mike Gaffney, who represents hearing number 18-22, that's Zagar Incorporated, doing business as Mike's Discount. He respectfully requested a continuance to the March 15th docket, and we are working with the establishment to come to a resolution in this matter.
Okay, that'll be fine.
At this time, we would like to dismiss hearing number 19-22, La Boutique Incorporated, doing business as Beer Fest. Again, these violations have already been rectified, and the petition was sent out in error.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Hearing number 20-22, Sicilian Foods LLC, doing business as Frank's Restaurant. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $1,200, payable within 30 days, and the establishment is up to date with all its permits.
Am I reading this correctly? It says their ABO license is delinquent 95 months?
No, it's supposed to read 5 months. Apparently, that's a typo on the on the document.
Oh, yeah.
All right, very good. All right, thank you.
No problem. Hearing number 21-22, Grand Isle Partners LLC, doing business as Grand Isle Restaurant. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $1,200, payable within 30 days, and all of their permits are up to date.
Thank you.
Likewise, hearing number 22-22, Lily T. Jackson, doing business as Twin Stop. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $2,400, payable within 120 days, and all of the permits and all of the taxes are up to date.
Wonderful.
Hearing number 23-22, the Van Benthusen Elms Mansion, doing business as the Van Benthusen Elms Mansion. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $2,200, payable within 30 days, and the establishment's permits are up to date.
Great.
24-22, Tremaine LLC, doing business as Barcode Lounge. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $2,400, payable within 90 days.
All right, thank you.
Hearing number 25-22, Layla LLC, doing business as Circle Meat Market. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $2,600, payable within 30 days, and they are currently up to date on their taxes.
Great.
And permits.
Yep.
If we can resend, Madam Clerk, via certified mail, service for 2600 MLK LLC, doing business as Saints Restaurant and Bar, and that's hearing number 2622, to be served for the March 15th docket, please. Same thing with 27-22, Lucero Moran Enterprises LLC, doing business as St. Louis Market. If we can send that certified mail as well.
Okay, Eric, I have one question. to
Sure.
ask. So when I'm doing this certified mail, am I certifying the business owner? Or you want
Yes,
everyone, service to everyone on that petition?
that is correct.
What's correct?
Everyone on the petition.
Okay, thank you.
Hearing number 2822, Second Line Brewing LLC, doing business as Second Line Brewing. A consent judgment has been entered into in the amount of $5,800 payable within 90 days. And this establishment is currently up to date with its permits.
Very good, thanks.
Hearing number 2922, Mr. Ed's Oyster Bar and Fish House. This establishment is being represented by Mr. Ike Spears, again, who again is unable to appear today. Madam Clerk, again, this is an establishment in which Mr. Spears will accept service for the March 15th. And we are in communication with Mr. Spears, and hopefully we will resolve this shy of the March 15th date.
Wonderful.
Madam Clerk, certified mail needs to be sent to Poor Boy St. Bernard LLC, doing business as the Poor Boy, and that is hearing number 30-22. If a certified mailing can be sent to the March 15th hearing, that'll be great.
Have you spoken to that group?
I have not. We've been having some issues with service, in particularly with our detective. So I'm trying to see if I can send them certified mail to get them in here prior to the March 15th deadline.
All right, thank you.
Hearing number 31-22, Selena Operations New Orleans LLC, doing business as Selena Catahoula New Orleans. At this time, the city will dismiss this particular petition. Again, these particular violations were submitted in error.
Okay, very good.
And the last two on the docket, hearing number 32-22 and 33-22, that's Mr. Ed's Oysters Bar and Fish House on Bienville and Mr. Ed's Seafood and Oyster House on St. Charles Avenue. Both these establishments are being represented by Mr. Spears. Madam Clerk, for these two establishments, Mr. Spears will gladly accept service on behalf of his clients for the March 15th hearings.
Very good.
And if we can return to page 1 of the docket, hearing number 47-19, Handsome Willie's Cafe LLC, doing business as Handsome Willie's Cafe. As I mentioned previously, there is the parties have entered into a consent judgment that I would like to place into the record as well, to read into the record. This matter comes for hearing on the 6th day of November 2019. Mr. Steen Lorenz was present representing the permittee, and as well as the city attorneys, Mark Daniel McNamara and Erica W. DeLarge. Considering the law, evidence, and consent of the parties, it is ordered, adjudged, and decreed that the permittee herein waives formal service of the petition filed in this matter. It is ordered, adjudged, and decreed the permittee herein acknowledges that it violated the provisions set forth in the petition filed herein, and therefore it is agreed between the parties that the permittee will be fined the sum of $3,500, which shall be paid within 90 days from signing of this judgment by the permittee. It is ordered, adjudged, and decreed that the permittee shall obtain all necessary permits and pay all delinquency penalties relative to the renewal issuance of its alcoholic beverage permits. It is ordered, adjudged, and decreed that given the failure to renew its alcoholic beverage permits by May 31st, 2019, the permittee recognizes that the permittee will have to apply as a new applicant. It is ordered, adjudged, and decreed that the permittee shall arrange for the property to be re-inspected by the Department of Safety and Permits within 15 days of the signing of this judgment by the parties, and that any violations found therein will be remedied within 90 days of the inspection. It is ordered, adjudged, and decreed that the permittee acknowledges that it only holds permits for 220 South Robertson Street, and hereby agrees that it would not use the property located at 218 South Robertson in connection with its businesses. It is ordered, adjudged, and decreed that the failure to comply with the terms of this agreement shall result in a minimum of a 90-day suspension of the permittee's alcoholic beverage permits and any other remedial measures the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board deems appropriate to impose. Read and rendered and signed on this day. And it hasn't been signed yet. This is one of those cases, Dr. Gallagher, that fell off the docket, if you will, and that we have just now noticed that it was never read into the record. And Madam Clerk should have the original copy of the petition, as well as the original signed copy of the consent judgment. To my knowledge, Handsome Willie's does not have any open violations relative to their ABO permits.
So if they brought their taxes up to date and they're...
That's my understanding. I will admit that I need to verify with the Department of Permits that everything is up to date on their end as well.
And if they violate this, there's a minimum of a 90-day suspension?
Yes, sir. According to the consent judgment signed by the parties, a minimum of a 90-day suspension of their ABO permits.
Very good.
If I can have a brief indulgence, 1 second, please. Let me verify with my clerk that there's nothing else that we need to add on the docket or read into the record.
All right.
No, there's nothing else needs to be added.
Madam Clerk, for clarification, WEDATS, that's on 1 o'clock. WEDATS, is that on the nuisance docket for today to be read into the record? I can give you the hearing number if necessary.
I'm looking at my nuisance agenda.
Sure, sure. I do know that the hearing number is 16-19A.
Okay, it's on the nuisance agenda for 1 o'clock.
Okay, not a problem. Dr. Gallagher, I will read that into the record at the nuisance hearing at 1 o'clock. And with all the consent judgments read into the record, including Handsome Willie's Cafe LLC, that concludes the 11:30 a.m. docket, unless there is comment by anyone from the public.
Is the meeting being adjourned?
Yes, we have no further business.
I don't have anything further relative to the 11:30 a.m. sales tax hearing docket.
Wonderful. So I have a brief window there, 1 to 2. At 2, I have to leave. Hopefully that won't interfere with the meeting, but
it shouldn't. We just have unless there's a surprise. The only thing that I have, we're reading a few consent judgments into the record, and we have to possibly amend one consent judgment. But other than that, it shouldn't take more than about 45 minutes to an hour.
wonderful. All right. Great. I'll bring this to an end then. We'll adjourn the meeting and I'll see you at 1.
All right, no problem. Have a good day, guys.
Hey, thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.